Hi everyone, it's Rabbi Dr. JackCohen, dating coach, Magachir for Torah Anytime on dating, and Shalom Bayis. Today, on behalf of partners in Shidduchim, I'd like to make a presentation called Successful Dating Calls for Introspection Within Yourself and Work on Yourself. You can't have it any other way. After many years of helping single people, there's one thing we've learned. People would rather do things their way than listen to a good dating coach who sees these issues daily. We have a heartbreaking number of single people in our communities who have no understanding of what they should be looking for in a potential shidduch, nor the awareness that they need guidance. And more than ever, we need to have guidance today in dating. Unfortunately, secular notions of the ideal husband or wife have crept into our homes, into our psyche, and have affected us deeply. We're much more superficial than our grandfathers and our grandmothers would have ever dared to be. A top learner, a top earner, or a size 2 young woman now has become the criteria, regardless of character qualities, which is far more important. Midos has been shelved as people have now assumed to chase superficial qualities. Worse, there are a staggering number of unhappy marriages and divorces because people are getting married based on the wrong criteria. They refuse to open their eyes during the dating process and then wonder what went wrong. It's like buying a tiny sports car for a large family. You end up bringing your groceries home from the store in 4 trips. It's imperative and critical and crucial to know what do we need before we go out to get it. Gaining clarity about what we truly need in a partner is the necessary hishtadlus or effort that will not only help us to find the right life partner, but will help us to have a happy, successful marriage. Your insights into your own needs will serve you well throughout your whole life. It'll also make you that much better able to serve the needs of your spouse and your spouse to serve yours. That in a nutshell is the heart of a successful, happy marriage. So at that point, let me just share a wonderful story with you about a man named Jason and how he changed and how he was misguided by, media influence expectations. Jason met a dating coach on the advice of a rabbi who was exasperated by Jason's search for a beauty queen. Jason had traveled the world, owned a boat and a rare sports car, and worked with his father in the family business. One summer, Jason arrived in Israel on vacation. Much to his parents' embarrassment, Jason fell in love with Torah and stayed to study there. He came back 2 years later a religious Jew. Because he was their only child, his parents adapted to his ways and he was welcomed back to work for his father in the family business. He had shaken off most of the old secular vestiges of his old life, but Jason still clung to the misconception of the secular world. His wife had to be sophisticated and stunningly beautiful. He walked into the office of the dating coach with the air of someone who owns the place. He was explaining the process, that they would try to see what the obstacles are, what's preventing Jason from meeting that wonderful young woman that should be his beshert, and what help that he needs to figure it out. So the dating coach asked the obvious first $1 million question. Jason, why do you think you're not married yet? And he answered as he fidgeted in his seat, well, I just haven't found my beshert yet. And if you met her, how would you know it? And Jason looked at the dating coach. Like, what are you, dense? Of course I'd know it. Now, he was sure that she was dense. Look, I treat the girls right, Jason said. I take them to the nicest places, and he suddenly became self-conscious. I'm always the one to end things. They're the ones who want to continue with me. So what you're saying to me, the dating coach said, that they always think you're the right guy, but so far you haven't met the right girl. More or less, Jason answered. Looking Jason directly in the eye, I asked him, why do you drive a Jaguar? And Jason asked, where are we going with this? Well, I'm trying to get to the bottom of why you're not married yet. If it's just because you haven't met the right girl, your soulmate, then you need to meet more people. But if there's something that you're doing to slow down the process, perhaps we should figure it out, analyze it, and eliminate that problem. And I think that your Jaguar is scaring off the young girls. Look, Jason, the dating coach said to him, you're a strong individual, maybe a little bit arrogant. Your rabbi tells me that your growth in Torah learning is incredible. If you marry a gorgeous, sophisticated girl, she may pull you in a different direction that we hear that you want to be headed. Maybe you want to grow more with a girl who is not so worldly, but whose entire focus is on creating a beautiful Jewish home. Someone who will help you to see that your wealth is not a privilege, Jason, but rather an obligation. You need a wife who will humble you by her humble devotion to Hashem. And a girl like that doesn't care about your Jaguar. And so they sat down and created a top 10 list of what Jason needed in terms of midos. And Jason listened, and the meeting ended. And then, interestingly, a few years later, the dating coach was at a restaurant. He was having, and she saw Jason, he was having dinner with a sweet-looking young woman wearing a sheitel. So she said to herself, the dating coach, I have to know whether this was his wife or someone else. As we approached, I overheard the young woman complimenting the waiter on the service. Jason saw me coming and beamed with pride. Yes, this lovely, unpretentious, more simple-looking woman was indeed his wife. Jason had moved the mountain. He was able to overcome his initial stubbornness and move forward in his personal growth. The continued development of his midos surely brought about the siyata d'shmaya necessary for Jason to find his appropriate life partner.